For many visitors to India, I can imagine that the thought of travelling by train can be daunting, but our experience has shown us that train travel in India can be the best way to move around this vast country. Hi, we're Graham and Tracy, the Flying Finnies. We're coming to the end of 9 weeks in India, and today we're travelling from Goa to Kerala. Join us as we take our last train journey in India and share our insights on what makes this the best way to travel in this beautiful country.
So I might be eating some humble pie at some stage.
So Tracy, our last train in India.
I feel a bit sad about that. We have a 13-hour trip ahead of us.
785 kilometres to get from where we are in Goa down to Kerala.
It is very early in the morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning. We've been up for an hour.
Which is better than other mornings we've had.
We have had earlier mornings. Got another sleeper carriage, and yeah, we're looking forward to a long but hopefully enjoyable trip. So come along for the journey.
The journey thus far has not been an easy one. We had to book our tickets in Varanasi and actually had to go to the train station to get the tickets. And then somehow we've misplaced the tickets. But everything is going to be fine, I'm absolutely certain.
Every train trip we've taken, Graham starts it with a couple of samosas off one of the platform vendors. So hopefully that means it's good luck for us and we'll get to stay on this train.
So, breakfast of champions. Couple of samosas, 60 cents, with a chai, another 20 cents. Life couldn't be better.
So we are carriage A2. So we're hoping we're at the right part of the train, the platform. Oh, A2. That's us.
2, 3. Monular terminus, Ernakulam, Superfast Express.
Now we've just got to find beds 26 and 27. I think one's upper, one's lower.
I think I'm in heaven. I've just had 4.5 hours sleep on this train. It's almost silent in here. And now, chocolate biscuits for breakfast.
What we didn't fully appreciate was that on this train all of our meals were covered, so whilst we had self-catered, we had probably over-catered. This is morning tea. It's really odd because we don't see too many tea bags. Here in India we had to go searching for a few stops ago. But just ahead of lunch being served, a nice refreshing cup of tea.
Here is our little lunch trays. It's quite a lot of food. There's 3 individual trays. Looks like some bread rolled up and some yogurt. So we have some rice. That's my chicken curry. There is some dal in that container there, but I'm not opening that because I'm afraid I'm going to spill it everywhere. There's a little thing of pickles and skimmed milk dahi, which I'm assuming is like a yogurt type thing. And he just delivered something in here for dessert. And that feels like a gulab jamun in there, but we'll check that out later.
I've opted for the vegetarian menu and it looks delicious. Got a couple of chapatis in here, nice and warm. That looks like a paneer masala curry with some sauce. We've seen this type of sauce with a lot of our breakfasts. Some rice and again a bit of dessert there, but this is certainly enough to fill you up.
So it's dessert time. I'm hoping it's a gulab jamun, but I may be disappointed. Let's see. It's not gulab. Looks like a little sweet rice ball. I wasn't expecting it to have syrup inside. It's like gulab. It's good. So it's about 3:30 in the afternoon and we've just been served some more food. Afternoon tea, got little crispy snacks. We have in here, it's not a samosa, I'm not sure what they're called, but they're little sort of fried bready things. I've got another one of those juicy little sweets. And there's a coffee kit, so I'm assuming someone's going to come around with a cup and some water. But I'm going to enjoy that.
I guess it's a bit of a kachori. It's got a beautiful stuffing. It's warm. And really nice. Though, what in India in terms of food is nice. I like it all. Just taking a tour through the train today. I will say, when we first started travelling on India Rail, there was a little bit of trepidation because we weren't sure what we were going to experience. But I will say that India Rail has surpassed all of our expectations. It's actually been a really, really easy way to travel around India. So let's go and have a look at some of the compartments here on this train. We are in the first class compartment at the moment, and the big difference is that each of the rooms have got these sliding doors to provide a little bit of extra privacy. And they can either be 4 bunks to a room or 2 bunks to a room. The 2 bunks are called coupes. This is an example of a coupe. The standard of the food here might be a little bit better. It's being served on plates rather than plastic that we were receiving. One of the other things about the second class coach, which is fine, is that you have to kind of climb up the outside of the stairs, whereas here you get stairs included as well. All of the beds fold up in the same way as ours does to provide a bit of a day sitter. And overall, it's a very clean, it's a very comfortable car with electricity, lights, everything you need. And this train has been really comfortable to ride.
I didn't know that was here. We're like 2/3 of the way into the journey and I've just found the Western Style toilet.
This is not our compartment because we've got a lovely lady sharing with us at the moment, but we found this empty one that we thought we'd show you. So this is the second class sleeper carriage. As you can see, it's got 4 berths, 2 upper, 2 lower. It's obviously more compact than the first class carriage, but completely comfortable. So each bunk or bed comes with a pillow, a blanket, which I did need this morning, it was a bit chilly on here, and everyone gets a little bag of clean with 2 sheets and a towel in it. So you have hooks to hang your bags or jackets on, lights, power, luggage rack, and a mirror, just in case you want to make yourself insta beautiful. So from the top bunk you don't get a view out the window very easily. From the bottom bunks you get a great view. That nice tropical outlook. The most important feature is that this second class compartment is also air conditioned. Very important. The bottom bunks fold up into a day bed or a day seat. It's quite heavy. Ready for the day. And they have privacy curtains. On the other side of the corridor there is like a double bunk sleeper. So same thing, pillows, blankets, sheets. Bottom bunk, like the bottom bunks on the other side of the corridor, turn into seats. So you end up with 1 seat for yourself. I don't know why you stop filming when things like that happen. It's quite cold. Don't forget to put the hooks on the seat when you lift them up. They come down and whack you on the butt. Turns into 2 seats for yourself and your bunkmate. There's also plenty of room for your luggage under the seats here, so you can fit lots of bags under there. I loved the Indian trains. I was a little nervous about them. We've done probably about 5 trips now. This is one of the longest. I was particularly nervous about sort of overnight trips when you're sleeping, and particularly about these carriages where you can't lock the door, but I have felt really safe. We have not had any incidents that made me feel uncomfortable. Granted, I'm not travelling alone, I'm travelling with Graham, which probably has made me feel a little bit more comfortable, but I have no hesitations in recommending the sleeper compartment on Indian Rail. Long distance train travel is not something that we as Australians are very familiar with. We don't have a great long distance rail network in Australia, but if I were to compare this to some other forms of long distance travel, the reason we've been doing it is because it's cheaper than flying, significantly cheaper. And the other advantage is that obviously the railway stations are much closer to the centre of town where you're generally staying, so there's also a much lower cost to get from your accommodation to the train station than there is to go from accommodation to an airport, which is generally 30 kilometres out of town. So a couple of cost advantages. And again, if I were to compare it to Australia, so we pay to go from Sydney to Canberra, which is about 330 kilometres or something, $50 for a coach. We think that's quite good value, but to compare that to this train journey, which is over 800 kilometres, and it's cost us $40 per person to go that far, and we've had some meals, we've had air conditioning, we've been able to sleep, we can get some work done if we want to, plenty of room to do all of those sorts of things. We can go for a wander down the corridor. Train travel is the way to go, I say. I think there'll be more of it in the Flying Penny's future.
Apart from the occasional snorer here on the train, there have really only been 2 downsides to our travel. Every time we jump on a train, it is very early in the morning. Worst was most probably about 1:30 in the morning. This morning was about 5:30. The other key issue is booking the tickets, and booking tickets for India Rail, particularly if you're not here in India, can be a little bit of a challenge initially until you get your head around the booking system. On occasion, our cards weren't being accepted, which meant that we did have to use cash. The other thing that we've found is that some of the long distance trains can book out a little bit earlier, and so when we've been booking 2 weeks in advance, generally speaking, not a problem at all. We can get confirmed tickets pretty easily, but anything less than that, sometimes we've found ourselves having to go by coach rather than by train, which is in experience now most probably the second best option.
Rail over coach, most definitely.
So, Trace, room tour?
I don't know if I've got anything to say about this. Definitely less enjoyable. That's me being diplomatic.
The rest of our train trip to Kerala was wonderful, with great views out the windows and a little bit of time to relax.
Time for Tracy to have her afternoon snooze.
So we've been on the train for about 11 hours, and Finney's found himself a quiet space away from me to enjoy something. And we are here.
We've made it,
13 hours later.
and still sane.
Goodness, they just turned the lights off on us. Must be time to get off.
It might be his.
Thank you. It's humid
It is.
compared to
Almost sunset too. Just arrived at Ernakulam Junction. We've got about 5 kilometres to get to our homestay. The best thing is, there's Uber. So that was a really good train journey.
great train trip, on time, air conditioning
Comfortable.
worked treat, good food, good sleeping quarters. Didn't get any work done like we planned to do, but I watched a few YouTube videos
Got a
and
little bit of work done.
searched social media and had a few naps. So all in all, a great day. We're in a new location and we're glad to be here.
I think it's really demonstrated train journey here in India is actually quite manageable, and even though it might be a little bit, I don't know, a bit of the unknown initially, it's worked out really well for us.
That brings to an end our 13-hour train journey and our last train trip in India. So thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave us a comment, and please subscribe to our channel for more India and Sri Lankan content.
So join us in our next videos where we explore the majestic city of Kochi and cruise the backwaters of Alappuzha.